Pat Jones Show, an inside look at Oklahoma State University Cowboy football. Brought to you by Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Jerry Park, and welcome to the first show of the Pat Jones Show for the 1991 football season. Pat, coming off a 13-7 loss to Tulsa in Skelly Stadium, kind of wet, not the most enjoyable way to spend a Saturday evening in Tulsa.
Well, I think a couple of things here, Jerry. Going into any opener, obviously, there's some uncertainties, a lot of uncertainties, particularly more so with us right now because we're playing so many young guys. I think we started to answer a few questions. There's still some remaining out there that we will continue to answer, obviously, as we play games. But I think we gave good effort. I came out of it feeling like that this is going to be a good football team at some point. I don't know exactly when. We'll talk about some things as we see the replay that intrigue me or interest me, or where I think we've got to make some additions or corrections. But again, I couldn't fault us effort-wise at all. I think both squads played well. I think it was a fairly cleanly played ball game. And I think we've obviously got a chance to improve.
Could have gone either way. A couple of plays here, a couple of plays there.
Exactly. I don't know that we're mature enough to win a close one right now, but again, at some point we will be.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights, and we'll do that right after we take our initial timeout. Well, it was a rain-swept field at Skelly Stadium in Tulsa for the Cowboys opener against the Golden Hurricanes. OSU won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. Pat, here are the highlights.
Well, again, because of the uncertainties involving us offensively, combination of that and the wet weather, we wanted to let them have the ball first. Ricky Myers kicked into the end zone. We were kind of lucky right here, Jerry. They almost split us right there. End up making a decent play on it, but we were a little bit lucky now. So you can see this wing formation down here at the bottom. They hit a couple of cracks. We had a guy here and there that got on the inside of a block. You can see Tyler Williams, if you can see him, got turned a little bit. These are things that we think can get corrected. This was a little bit something different formation-wise, so they broke one right after that, and we knocked him out. This surprised me a little bit. I won't say got us totally rattled, but I think it surprised our defensive unit here, giving ground somewhat grudgingly in here. Again, Jackson is a pretty good back. I mean, he's a straight line guy, but he's a pretty powerful guy. Now, they had some success running the ball inside, which opened up. There's a good play right here by Michael Woolridge, which kind of set the stage for some of this bootleg stuff that we'll see. Again, not anywhere to run. I think if this is the third down play, this is interesting right here. Now again, we faked a blitz and came out of it, checked them into what we thought we wanted. They threw one. Mike almost had it intercepted. If he could have made the tackle at the 6-yard line, they would have been forced to kick a field goal. But we're down 7. Again, I thought we kept our composure fairly well on the sidelines. Now they kept kickoff. Scotty Harmon hits a little bit of crack. We opened the game with Harmon and Denson back. Harmon made a nice return. You can see we're going to open the game in a fairly simple formation here. 2 tight ends and a flanker. Classic I formation. Just turn around and toss the ball to Denson. And I think the wet field bothered him a little bit, as it would any guy who is basically a jitterbug type back. On these same hand, you can see the explosion and the acceleration and the leg strength here. Replay coming up. Again, just a simple handoff. Roger Franks, the fullback, does a nice job of getting out in front of him, knocking somebody down. I had the sensation from the sideline that it was just a matter of time until, again, he's going to hit a crack. You can see how strong his legs are once he gets headed up and down the field. He had slipped a little bit in pregame warm-up, and I do think that worried him a little bit. This is L.G. Thompson, the other freshman running back, who, again, is a very good player in his own right. Here goes Denson. Right here, you can see how he keeps on churning his legs. He normally gets headed up and down the field. We turned somebody loose. One of the tackles did not see one of their linebackers. They've got a couple linebackers, and I think good players. Turned one of them loose, and now we're forced to punt. Well, really proud of Barry Vincent here, the punter. He did a marvelous job here. Kicks this one out at the 1 yard line. The true freshman snapper, Mike Curtis, did a great job down in here. We've got them pinned inside the 1. They do a good job of knocking it out of here. Again, turn around and handing it off. They actually fumbled this ball here and recovered it. I could not tell from the sideline exactly what was happening. Again, they're being pretty conservative. Hit a little crease right there. You kind of had a little bit of grabbing going on in the interior. Got up a little bit higher on some blocks than we would have liked. Same thing occurred there that we talked about on the first drive as far as a guy getting turned the wrong way. Again, we're building a fairly good wall right here, not much. I think the things that were happening here are some things that we can get corrected. My pace has picked up over on the sideline because I can tell it's going to be a little bit iffy here. Again, strong safety got fooled on some play action. If they can make the inside run work, it's going to make that stuff, again, look a lot better. Now they go play action and try to throw the ball deep. Clark had him covered. Only one time I thought they got behind us, and Fleshman makes a good play. Okay, you can see the little wing up at the top. Again, a little bit something different. We missed a sack right here. We had somebody turned loose. He got into a scramble situation. You don't really know what's going to happen. Big Way Case is a pretty good player at tight end. Now they motion into a no-back formation. He sets and throws, and we got lucky right there. They dropped one. Again, that was fairly crucial from the standpoint that we needed a little bit of a break right in here. They tried to run a draw play. We had a stunt on Colbert and Jason Gilden hit him for a loss. Here's a replay. You can see the little crossing that we got going on in there, and they run right into it. But the drop pass was a fairly timely play. We need, again, something good to happen to us down here, and basically got it, force a punt out of them. Again, good job by Mike Clark of getting that ball caught. Here we come right now. Okay, here's Denson again. You know, when he gets, look at this right here now. Again, I had the feeling there that he is just a step away from breaking it. Here it goes. Here, you can see look at this here. Now this is, yeah, the guy for a 162-pounder is extremely strong. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about this guy throughout the course of his career. I don't think there's any secret about that. You can see the strength. Again, he was not able to make some of the blurring cuts that he can make, but the hesitation and the burst and the leg drive and the things that you see and we have seen out of the great backs is all there. Good job of Kenny Ford sitting in here and throwing to Burt Milner. Milner had a good night catching the ball. This is the junior college transfer, smallish guy, but he's very explosive. Again, coming off the play fake here. Ford does a good job of hanging in and throwing. Milner does a good job of sitting down in a hole. The guy's going to be a good player. Very, very impressed with what he did. Again, end of the first quarter, Tulsa 7, Oklahoma State nothing.
We'll be back with more of the Pat Jones Show right after this. Well, welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. When we left you, the score was 7-0. Oklahoma State had the ball. We pick it up again, Pat. First play of the second quarter, 1st and 10 from the Tulsa 39.
Well, again, we're driving. We're moving the ball. We've got a little bit of momentum here. Turn somebody loose. But again, you can see how Denson can make people miss, which, again, is the trait of the great back. We turned a couple of them. He couldn't avoid that right there. A little bit too much to ask for anybody. By and large, thought we played reasonably on the offensive line. Again, had turned a couple of people loose in here. This ball, I couldn't tell from the sideline. They got their hand on it. I thought Robert might have had a chance, but they batted it down. Again, Vincent comes in with the punt team, and we do a good job of pinning them down inside the 10. They come out, and again, there's little cracks, and again, their backs are strong enough once they get turned up the field to make a cut. I never really did think they got us outflanked. Good play by Chris Calhoun here. Defensively, I think the things that are happening we can get corrected. I thought we hit people well, particularly out of the secondary. They made a first down there. Rubley's a veteran quarterback, and I thought by and large played pretty well. See, they hit a little cutback crease in there. You know, it kind of seemed like we'd get some things worked out at the point of attack, and they had cut somebody off on the backside. Here's the play action that they hit before. Same type principle. Scotty Harmon had it played here. They ran a little bit of motion and bootleg back at it. Again, Rubley dumps the ball off. Harmon's got the thing played here. As the ball game wore on, I thought Harmon got more comfortable at strong safety. Went back and threw here. he's good, and I credit them with throwing pretty safe stuff. Here, there's the little crack inside there. Again, there's a few more cracks in there than you would like. It was happening one time. We had a blitz on right here, and they caught us in it. They had a good call. This is the only time I thought they really got loose in the open field. Hughley, again, we had a blitz on, and they hit it. It got us picked up. Now they turn around, give the ball off again, and you can see there's still a little bit of room. We thought we had taken the ball away from them, thought Colbert had here. Officials didn't see it, right, wrong, or indifferent. We did not end up with the ball. They're running here. We stiffen up defensively. I thought we had some chances to crack down here on defense, but we really never did. I mean, they sure hit some places on us. Here you can see the motion, the boomerang motion. Now they're making a play fake back at us. Gilden, good job here. I thought really from the sideline that the whistle was being blown about the time. We can't advance that ball anyway. I guess Gilden's just trying to work on his conditioning some by running around in. Let's see what happens. Here's the closest I've seen this. You can't tell when the whistle's blowing. Makes no real difference here. I thought, well, that's interesting. That changes the complexion maybe. But again, they call what they call, and we got to live with it. But we did get them stopped. They broke and got down in there. Defense stiffened. They try to run a draw, extreme long yardage here. Had the 6 defensive backs in the ball game. I thought we did a nice job. You can see our secondary people taking pretty good shots at them. They send their kicker onto the field, and he hits one. Tulsa, 10, Oklahoma State, nothing. They turn around, kick off to us. Okay, here comes Raphael. I think it's probably a matter of time till he starts breaking some of he's got a great presence on this stuff. You can see, again, the leg drive and the strength that he has got. Sprint pass by Ford. Again, between the timing of the receivers and some of this stuff was a little bit off here. Drop back, okay, they've got us covered. This is, again, something that Ford does well is run with the ball in the open field. Again, here we go, straight drop back. Again, pressure, he avoids the rush. Kirksey does a great job here, again, of coming back for the ball, the things you want to do in a scramble type situation. I have always felt with Ford that probably one of the best things he does is basically improvise. Again, we'll talk about this quarterback stuff here a little bit later on in the show. All right, here's 22. Outside, again, makes 2. A bunch of people missing. There's our offensive linemen. They take great pride in blocking. Oklahoma State linemen, fortunately, have had a chance to block for great backs, and I think we've got the makings of another situation there. You can see our offensive linemen getting down in there. Okay, here's Ford going back. Throwing, hits Milner. We're going to see a replay of it again. I really never did feel like in the first half we got stagnant offensively. We didn't have as many opportunities as we would like, but I thought by and large we stayed in a fairly good rhythm. Okay, here you can see Ford on the play fake coming back. We've got good protection here. He throws this ball nicely to Milner. Burt is going to get better and better and better. This was a big play here. We had L.G. Thompson, the other freshman in at tailback. I don't know exactly where the miscue occurred, whether it was a little bit of a high handoff or what happened. Fumble, Tulsa gets the ball. That was I think around their 30 or 25 yard line. Big play in the game right there. Okay, here's again their handoff here. Gilden, good play. It appeared they were trying to direct some things away from Gilden, and quite honestly, I don't blame them a great deal. Nice play here. We got Andre Thompson. Andre, again, is a good football player. I think he's going to be a good pass rusher. Again, his first start as a junior college transfer. We get him stopped. Again, their punter comes out on the field, hits the ball down. I thought really, again, both punters did a pretty nice job. All right, here's Denson. Again, they swarm him pretty good, but he's got a good knack for catching the ball, and we don't want to go crazy with him. We dropped the snap right here, but he's got a chance to break these returns. All right, now Kenny goes back, throws, does a pretty nice job right here of throwing in. Late in the half, we jumped into some 2-minute stuff here. Good throw again. Get out of bounds, Bert. The clock runs out after this. I just kind of wanted to run some plays and hit it, and they were backed up and try to get out of it. I thought really as we left the field, we were in a fairly good frame of mind. Obviously knew we were in a dogfight.
Well, it was 10-0 Tulsa at the half. The second half coming up when the Pat Jones continues in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. Oklahoma State took it on the chin last night, 13-7 at the hands of the University of Tulsa. And Pat, you said there was some adversity in the first half, but there were some key plays that you've been talking about.
Well, I think as far as key occurrences first half-wise, again, hindsight, the 3rd and 10 play where Tulsa scores the touchdown, you would like Mike Clark to just let the guy make the tackle and make the catch and tackle him. Now they got to kick a field goal down in there. Again, Mike's a good aggressive veteran player. Thought he had a chance to intercept him, which I can't fault him there. Ball gets tipped, falls into the hands of the youngster from Tulsa, and they run in and score. I thought that was a big play there. Again, if we could have made the play, force them to a field goal, there's a variance there. The fumble, when we're on their 25-yard line, we've hit a pass, we've done a few things. Again, we're alternating the freshman tailbacks. Again, not saying it was anybody's fault. Mishandle the exchange between L.G. Thompson and Ford, fumble the ball. They get it at a point where I thought we were driving and establishing a little bit of momentum. I was surprised that they had run the ball inside. Again, after I have seen this stuff a little bit, it's a crack here or a crack there, and I don't think that it's things that we cannot, in one way or another, somewhat get corrected. We've punted the ball well. Basically, we've played well on special teams. I think Tulsa's played a good ball game to this point. I think it was basically pretty cleanly played on both sides.
Field began to dry, and your defense began to stiffen a little bit, limiting them to field goal there.
Well, yeah, when we had a chance really to wilt and let them have a little bit more of a lead, we did. We stiffened up, forced a field goal there. Again, they surprised me with that they could run the ball in between the tackles there on us. Not that we're the answer to anything. That did surprise me a little bit. I think Tulsa is a little bit better maybe than I realized they were in the interior. But again, at 10-0, we had a fairly good pulse going in at halftime.
Well, the second half was a whole lot different than the first half. We'll take a look at the second half where the Pat Jones Show continues in just a minute. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. It's 10-0 at halftime, and Pat, you decided that you were going to take the third quarter kickoff.
Well, again, it was our decision. We're going to take the ball. Really, this stuff was happening about like I would like to have happened. Again, I thought we had a little bit of momentum, going in, kicked the ball over. We don't have great field position, but again, I thought we had a chance coming out to have. Here's L.G. Thompson. You could see his running style, which is somewhat different than Denson's, but he is another one that throws his body at you pretty good and tends to get good positive yards. You can see we're changing around a little bit on formations. Okay, here's Raphael. They strung this out pretty good. You can see, and I'm not trying to lay blame on anything, but he's a guy that needs a fast track. He's better at that. Okay, now this L.G. Thompson catching this ball here, and there's a replay coming up. Thompson has got good hands. Again, we can use he or Denson interchangeably at that wing-looking position there, and you can see LG's strength as far as again him knocking people the other way once he gets strung out. Okay, now here's this again, this acceleration and he is just within a arm tackle, literally of hitting air. We didn't spring him, and I thought that we probably would. Okay, here's LG for not much in here. But these two guys, and I know I've said this before, this LG and Tulsa does a nice job of stringing us out here. That was one that we needed to pick up and didn't. It forces a punt out of us. Again, Barry Vincent coming in. The snap and the protection and everything is really good. They fair catch the ball at the 10. But after watching the film myself, here again they're running up in there for nothing, I thought I was correct in having the feel that one of those backs was going to hit a crease. Now, that ultimately did not happen as far as big play stuff goes. Replay here. They turned Colbert loose in the interior. Rubley does a nice job here of holding on to the ball. Again, now they're operating backed up. This is where I thought that we were gaining some momentum defensively. He does a great job here of getting this ball off. Andre Thompson was right in his face. Again, good job of Woolridge knocking them out of bounds. We stop them, force a punt. Okay, now we've got the ball around midfield. Good job, Harmon, of getting the ball caught. I thought, again, we try to work a reverse in here to Denson. They had a stunt on inside, and the guy looped around and was just sitting out there for us. Again, he's got a chance on some of this stuff. Okay, Ford now scrambles and runs. Replay of it here. Somewhere at this point, again, I thought we were starting to lose a little bit of rhythm offensively. Again, I don't know why those things tend to happen or why I get those feelings, but we're operating around midfield. If you can make up, right here I could hear him hollering from the sideline, run it, run it, run it. You couldn't see it on film. He had a chance to circle them and pulled up, and they had the receivers covered. So now, we've got the ball around midfield. We're forced to punt again. We're going to get good field position, but that was a period of time where I thought we were gaining a little bit of momentum defensively. We couldn't do much again offensively. Good punt coverage in here. I think the ball came out a little bit late. Okay, here they are now. We get turned out on the backside. Again, you're talking about angles and the sides of blocks that people get on, and a lot of this is basically experience and how in reactions and stuff like this. Again, good job at the point of attack. We're playing Eric Garman. We were rolling a few guys in the interior and at linebacker. Okay, nice job of play faking. See, we've got good pressure here by Andre Thompson. Threw the ball back across the field. Pin 86 could have made a good catch, but again, we've got them stopped. Or it's now third down, long yardage. We've got substituted people in the ball game. Four-man rush. Again, fairly decent pressure. Okay, here it is. Now watch right there. Oh, mercy. You can see the flag come out. I think we've got a replay. This is Scotty Harmon. This, I thought, was an immense swing of momentum. And again, I think they made a good call. Let's see what it looks like here a little bit on the replay. As opposed to having the ball to 1 yard. Okay, here comes Rubley. Okay, we're in zone coverage. All right, come on, Jay, stay up. Don't do that kind of thing. I saw what I thought happened, and I was hoping they didn't call it. I, again, think it was a good call. You can't block below the waist, kicking situations, interceptions. As opposed to having the ball at the 1 or 2, now we've got it around midfield, actually back on their side of the field. Okay, go back to throw. Should have hit that one. Again, when Denson catches that ball in stride, you got a chance to make something happen there. Okay, turn around and pitch it to him on the sweep, and they're playing pretty good defense. I will credit Tulsa. I think they've got a couple linebackers on here, pretty good football players. Okay, Ford goes back, scramble situation. Comes away, an immense swing there. Again, they stop us at midfield, force a punt, as opposed to us having the ball down inside on their 1 yard line. Realistically, you should score. I would like to think we'd score. Come around now, turn around, hand the ball off. Nothing there. So again, defensively, I felt like that we were playing pretty good. Ball slipped out of his hand. You'd like to think it would have dropped it, fallen into our hands. We couldn't really get a real break when we needed one to occur. Okay, he's back to throw. He just slipped out of his hand. Wet ball. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback, and he's struggling with it some. But sure, that's just the luck of the roll on stuff like that. It bounced into one of our guys' hands. Now you got it down in there. Okay, here they go. They try to run a draw, long yardage. Not much here. Again, we're doing a pretty good job of tackling. So it's winding down. We're going to get it to this is okay. Here's a repeat of the draw. Okay, good job, Brandon Colbert. Good job, Michael Woolridge. Let's don't be pushing and shoving on people. Big play right here. This ball pops straight up. All right, here. All right, Jay, just let it hit the ground. We weren't lining the guy up anywhere different than we hadn't for the last 12 years. Short kick, just let it hit the ground, get away from it. Now, we would have had the ball on their side of the 40-yard line. They're trying to take advantage, rightfully so, of another huge swing of momentum, throw deep. We had them covered. Again, now they break not much to the outside. Again, our perimeter stuff, I think, by and large, looked pretty good. Obviously, the mishandled punt was a huge, huge play in the ball game. Okay, now they're just coming back, running play action right here. Okay, he's under pressure. Come on, we had a chance to sack. Boy, he did a good job here. We actually missed a sack. He has the presence of mind, Rubley, I'm speaking of, being a veteran guy, to dump the ball off, make a crucial first down. I think that was about one of the first downs that they had made in the second half. So now the quarter is winding down. Turn around and run, give the ball off here. Not much, 10-0 still. Tulsa hit Oklahoma State.
And the defense stiffens in the third quarter and again in the fourth quarter. We'll be back to take a look at that fourth quarter as the Pat Jones Show continues in just a moment. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. At the end of three quarters, the score is Tulsa 10, Oklahoma State nothing. No scoring in the third quarter. Pat, as we pick up the highlights in the fourth quarter, Tulsa has a 3rd and 2 from the Cowboy 41.
You can see them jump into a wishbone, which is their version of power hour, what have you, short yardage. We make a good play. They actually tried to draw us off sides and took a penalty smart on their part. Now turn around and punt the ball to us. Again, the rhythm of the ball game made me feel like that we've still really got a chance to win it. Okay, here he goes. Again, and I'm talking about the strength. You can see once he gets going and once he gets headed up the field, how physically strong he is and how he got his elbow banged up a little bit. He's all right here, but again, you can see the jump through, the quick feet. Watch again the churning of the legs and the leg drive and all the things that the group. Okay, we've got. Brent Scott, we're going to put Scott in the series that we fumbled the punt. He's in a quarter. We turn a guy loose, and not a whole lot you can do about that on LG. Scott comes into the ball game now, okay, and we don't have a replay of this. We thought we had caught the ball. Obviously, the official ruled the other way. I thought really for Scott coming in at the position he did, we could have hit this one. You're down 10-0. You're on the road. You're on your own 10-yard line. The field's wet. I don't know how tougher it could have gotten unless you were at maybe Lincoln or someplace doing it. But we come in. Vincent does a nice job again of punting the ball. They fair catch it. They've got it around midfield. So again, we defensively, sure we've got to really get after it in here. They're being fairly conservative, rightfully so. Not much on the outside. Again, I really didn't get the impression that we got circled much throughout the night. A little bit of play action, hit it here. Okay, wrap up a little bit better. But again, we were still getting, most of the night, we had a lot of people around the football, again, which is encouraging, what you want to see. This is still Farad. Is that Farad in there, Jerry?
No,
okay, that's Rubley. I'm sorry, Rubley's back in court. Nice throw and catch here by them. They did a good job of throwing this thing in here. Okay, now, I was afraid they had gotten in behind our corner here. Great break, great job of overlapping by Jay Fleshman. Again, going deep, they ran a little bit of a stop and go or a hesitation and takeoff thing, and he laid the ball out there very nicely. From where I was standing, I thought that it was going to be touchdown Tulsa. But Jay Fleshman knocked the ball away from him. Try to run in there, and not a great deal. Okay, they're back in their short yardage formation. Okay, give the ball off to the fullback. Not a great deal here. Most of the ground is being given up grudgingly. They come in. Guy hits the field goal again and knocks it through. So now it's 13-0 Oklahoma State. The emotions on the sideline, Jerry, really still gave me and I think all of us. We had a reverse work in there and got a little bit clogged up. We still thought that, and realistically so, I think that we can win the game. All right, we're going to fire deep on. We thought maybe we could run Milner by him, and they were laying off of him most of the night, and I think they had a healthy respect for his strength, his speed. Okay, Scott back in at quarterback, off on a draw play to Denson. Okay, now again, we're not in 2-minute stuff. Okay, dumps the ball across to Burt Milner, and you can see his second effort in the things. Again, this guy's a pretty good football player. Again, under the circumstances, pretty impressed with Scott's present. Good catch, Burt Milner, threw it behind him a little bit. But you can see Burt has got the ability to make people miss. Okay.
Go for it on 4th and 3.
Yeah, again, it might not have been real good judgment on my part, but I thought we might have had to do a little something out of the ordinary here. And this was not a good throw. Had LG open on what we wanted to. Well, I really credit our defensive unit here. Okay, this was an area. They could have blown the game wide open had we broken our sword in here. I told the defensive unit knew what we were doing, going forward on 4th and 3 with 8 minutes left. And again, that's something that's against the percentages. Here's Gilden, and good football player. Obviously, very good player that will continue to get better and better and better. Defensively, we came in here and I thought did a good job of making. Here's Chaucer Funches. You can see 57. We ran a little bit of stunt with our outside linebacker, and him and Eric Garman. They turned Garman loose on the inside, trying to run a counter play. And Funches and Eric gummed things up pretty good. Again, okay, here they go back, run a draw, a little bit here against some nickel stuff, but a good tackle by Cornell Cannon. And defensively, I think that's a great job of coming in a period of time when emotionally it could have swung more heavily in their favor. So again, I credit our defensive unit very, very much so there. Okay, now and this was my fault a little bit here. I wanted to keep Bear Scott in the ball game. We had a little bit of miscommunication, which was my fault, and we sent Brent Scott back in. Okay, sit in there and throw. Good shot here to Milner. We'll see this again. Again, Bert has got a chance to be a very, very productive football player and a guy that can break a game open. Okay, Scott, good job of hanging in there. Everything is looking good here. Nice throw. Good job of Bert running the correct route and us reading it properly. Okay, Scott back to throw again. All right, this is a great catch. Mark Cheatwood, this guy's a good football player. He's another second-year freshman. His daddy was an All-American here, and he's got a fire that burns. And this one, number 19, he's a good player. Again, Scott coming back. This is a tough throw. This is a long throw. It's a way to hang in there and unload it. Again, let's watch Mark here. Boy, it's a nice throw, excellent catch. Get out of bounds, great throw and catch. Okay, dump it off again. Okay, we get the ball out of bounds. We're making some things happen right there. Brad McComb. There's enough time, plenty enough time for us to win the game. Okay, we turn somebody loose or they overwhelm us and get a sack on this. And now we come back and run a draw, and we really couldn't spring it. It was interesting to me to watch Scott's reaction after the sack. He got up. Now I think this is a fourth down play. And he comes back and fires it in there to Burt Milner. Repeat of this was 4th and 13 or something like this.
4th and 11.
4th and 11, right? And he comes back in here. He's poised. He sits. He fires. Milner is sitting down in a soft spot and does a good job. Good job, Burt Milner again. Okay, come out here and give the ball off to 22. Now he dips and dodges, and we see a repeat of it here. One official signal touch. See, I saw the guy stick both arms up, so I assumed it was a touchdown. He did step out of bounds again at the 2-yard line. I had seen one of them signal touchdowns while I was signaling to kick for it there. Okay, here's a repeat of it. Again, this guy's got all the characteristics that you want to see. Again, he's driving. He's throwing his body at the end zone. See, that guy's sticking his arms up there. Again, we're going to knock the ball in here, but okay, now we're in the power set or our short yardage with 4 to end. Again, they're loading up on the goal line. Not anything here. Again, they did a pretty good job of stuffing us for a couple of plays. Now we're going to run the option off the blast fake right here. They had it played again. Tulsa's obviously battling down here. Okay, here we go. We're going to turn around and pitch it. I heard one of the coaches from the sideline say this when we heard the play. This will be a walk-in. Again, this is Denson's first touchdown. I somehow get the feeling that it certainly won't be the last that he scores while he's at Oklahoma State. Pitch it to him. He scores. I think, Jerry, we're going to stop the high. There was actually 2:11 left here when we score. He goes in. There's still a little bit of ball game left, and we'll talk about some decision-making stuff here in a minute. We run Ricky Myers in, and I'm curious. I was looking at something else, talking to coaches. Good snap, good hold. 13-7 with 2:11 left in the ball game. Still got a little bit of play, but we're through with the highlights.
And the final was 13-7. Pat Jones and I will be back to recap this football game, talk about some of that decision, the strategy that you just mentioned in just a moment. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. Pat, when we left the highlights, there was about 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. You said there were some decisions that you needed to make in there. Talk about that.
Well, the obvious one was whether to onside kick, attempt to get the ball, or kick away. And we had 2 timeouts left. Mm-hmm. I think I'm correct in this. I didn't know exactly. Somebody reminded me after the ball game or pointed out to me that they had only made 2 first downs, I think, in the second half to this point. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I thought we had some momentum defensively. With 2 timeouts left, we felt like if we could keep them from making a first down, we could still get the ball back somewhere around midfield, when I think we did have a little bit of a hot hand throwing the ball. We had made some things happen. We could still go win the game. Now, I did after watching the film that I watched. I thought we wilted a little bit defensively. They drove and actually were able to make a couple of first downs and run the clock out. And that was what was asked me afterwards. Again, with that time left, had we had no timeouts left, you got to onside kick the ball. And again, had I not had the feeling that we were playing pretty decent defensively, you onside kick the ball. But to Tulsa's credit, they hammered it out, and it's the only time that I thought that we wilted a little bit defensively was in those final 2 minutes. Again, that's some things that we got to get a little bit better at, but I was very impressed with us offensively, moving the ball down the field, scoring. Honest to goodness, when we scored with 2:11 left, I thought, because I'm the eternal optimist, I thought we were still going to win the game.
Well, let's take a look at some of the final game stats. Kind of not all that far away from what you really expected.
Well, obviously the one that glares is the time of possession. They held the ball over 10 minutes longer than we did, and that was a factor, kept the ball out of our hands. One stat we don't see here, Jerry, but I thought was we did not have an offensive penalty. We only had 3 penalties the entire night, one of which was very crucial, which was the block below the waist. Good call. I think twice we had jumped or got caught in the neutral zone defensively. Pretty impressed with things. We had to burn a couple of timeouts the first half that we didn't want to do, but we did not have an offensive penalty and only had 3 for the night. Not bad for an opener.
Everybody come out healthy and all that?
Reasonably so. We were a few bumps and bruises, but I don't think that I know anything's going to keep anybody out against Arizona State. So right now I feel pretty good about that.
Good. We'll be back with more of the Pat Jones Show in just a couple of minutes.